All right, so we'll go ahead and get this meeting called to order. This is a special meeting of the Lake County Board of County Commissioners on April 26, 2022, 12 p.m. It is 12:01. And we have with us in the room County Attorney, some members from the public, Cindy from the Clerk and Recorder's Office, and we have Jeff and Sarah, fellow commissioners online on the Zoom with us today. So we have just a couple matters of business to start with. Let me pull up my meeting agenda. Okay. So with that, we'll go ahead and get into new business. First item on our agenda for new business is discussion on the appointment of Lake County. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
Order call for public comments on anything not on the agenda.
Oh, sorry about that. Does anybody have any public comments for items not on the agenda? No? I don't see any public with us. Sarah, there's no public trying to get into our Zoom meeting, correct?
Not that I can tell. I'm really sorry. I have to do this from my phone, so meeting.
Okay. I don't see
anybody
here for any public comment at this point. Good, Tim?
Yep.
Okay, so we'll move on to new business, which is discussion of appointment of Lake County Sheriff. Okay, so the Board of County Commissioners actively sought applications for the vacancy created in the Sheriff's Office for the elected position of Lake County Sheriff. The board collected and received applications through March 23rd, 2022. And as of March 23rd, 2022, we had received 3 applications. At that point, the applications were thoroughly vetted by County Manager Tim Bergman and County Attorney Chris Floyd for qualifications and the ability to do the job. And so as such, we refer to CRS 24-6 3.5, which states a search committee of a state public body or local public body shall establish job search goals, including the writing of the job description, deadlines for applications, requirements for applicants, selection procedures, and the time frame for appointing or employing a chief executive officer of an agency, in this case, the chief executive officer of the Lake County Sheriff's Office, authority, institution, or other entity at an open meeting. The state or local public body shall name one or more candidates as finalists for the position of chief executive officer. The state or local public body shall make public the finalists or finalists under consideration for the position of chief executive officer no later than 14 days prior to the appointment or employing a finalist to fill the position. No offer of appointment or employment shall be made prior to this public notice. Records submitted by or on behalf of a finalist for such position shall be subject to Section 24-72-2043A6. Nothing in this subsection 3.5 shall be construed to prohibit a search committee from holding an executive session to consider appointment or employment matters not described in this subsection 3.5 and otherwise authorized by this section. So given that, I will, Tim, you want to pop that door open? Just thanks, Caleb. So given that, the board has what we believe fulfills our duty at this point. So Sarah or Jeff, do you have anything further to add?
I don't think I do. I just would say that we've been working really hard at the office over the last month to this other contractors, vendors, under Sheriff create a gaps and where we can best support and for the operation. So I think we've done a really great job. And thank you special thanks to Chris and Tim. We've done a really great job in coordinating with really build up application or kind of create it for the path forward. So I thank you very much.
Thanks. Jeff, do you have anything else to add at this point?
No, I just agree with that, and yeah, glad we're getting to this point.
Okay. Chris, anything further at this point?
No, I think it's been fully vetted and the commissioners have acted within the scope of requirements, not only for their authority in making the appointment, but also the requirements for announcing the appointment and the review period.
Was that run by the commissioner's lawyer?
Excuse me?
Was that run by the commissioner's legal team?
She is our lawyer.
I am the county attorney.
And you feel that it's legally legitimate?
Right, I'm gonna call point of order here.
Yeah.
There's not public comment at this point in time,
Yeah.
sorry.
Yes, ma'am. I'll do that with the paper later.
All right, so at this point, I will accept a motion to fulfill the public notification for finalists of the appointment of Lake County Sheriff as David Heath Speckman, if Sarah or Jeff would like to do that and move forward.
Sure. I move to move forward with the intent to appoint the inspector no earlier than 14 day.
I'll second.
Okay, any further discussion, Jeff or Sarah, on the motion?
Sorry, Jeff, I just want to add to, you know, I don't, with Keith Beckman, we'll do our best to wrap everybody to hit the ground running as best we can. But we will definitely partner.
All right, thank you. Seeing no further discussion, all those in favor? Or Jeff, do you have anything else to add?
No, I was just unmuting to vote.
All right.
I'll vote yes.
Aye.
Aye. All right, so seeing that, Chris or Tim, if you'll draft that public notice, and we'll get that pushed out, and then in 14 days reconvene to consider final appointment. So, great. Thank you. Thanks, Heath, for being here. Tim, if you want to meet with or take Heath, or I don't know what the next step is for you guys.
Sure.
And then we'll move on to the next items on our agenda.
Okay.
Thanks for being here with us today. Okay, so we'll move on. All right. Thanks. All right. So we'll move into the next item on our agenda, which is public health workforce contract from Colleen Nielsen with our public health agency. Colleen, if you'd like to just chat through this quickly.
Yeah, absolutely. So this is funding that's coming down from the CDC. As you guys know, as we've worked through the pandemic, there's been, a recognition of public health being understaffed, underfunded for a number of years. The pandemic obviously made that more glaring, if you will, and some of the gaps. And so CDC is doing what they're calling the CDC Supplemental Workforce Grant, and that is for $141,473. Basically, the chunk came into the state, and the state made the decision to split it evenly amongst all public health agencies. I did share kind of all of the different expenses that are allowed. I am currently working on a budget for that, and it is just an opportunity to bring in funding. It is only for 1 year, so there are some positions that I will continue to fund as some of the other CDC fundings going away for COVID, or it's become so specific that I'm able to kind of absorb some of those responsibilities in this particular grant for the next year. And so that is where the money's going. We are talking about a possibility, talking with JP County about what like a patient navigator would look like, whether or not that's something we want to help with the hospital. Would that be something within public health? So those are just some opportunities, but I think it's, important to, take money. There's no obligation. We'll spend it, obviously appropriately. And I can talk more to that once we finalize budgets, which happens in the next couple of weeks, because it would start July 1st.
Okay. And what's the total dollar amount?
$141,473.
Okay, cool. So that's great. So you have some time to develop a.
We do. Mhm.
Okay.
Yes.
Cool. That'd be great. I would imagine if it would be appropriate with you, if we could maybe have a work session and talk through developing that budget a little bit together.
I agree.
Okay.
I just, so basically the first step is saying that, yes, we want it. That goes to the state, and then I have a budget due, preliminary, and then I have the ability to change it, up until we start using it, which would be my intent. That initially probably what I'm going to do is capture some of those positions that are now funded at a COVID specific, like communications, for example. It's getting very specific now of you can only talk about testing versus like vaccine, even though it's all part of the puzzle. And even if we're, on our COVID page talking about antivirals and all the other tools, we can't use specific CDC ELC funding for that. So I'll shift some of that money, into this for the next year as we start to see how it all plays out and what, some of those scopes of work will change as we keep moving, as you guys know. So absolutely.
Can I just
Yes.
ask a question?
Yeah.
So when would funding start? When would?
It looks like July
personnel be?
1st.
Okay,
And so I'm currently working on all of my salaries
okay,
and where they're gonna go come July 1st.
okay, and then we'll get those allocations.
Oh, I'll get those way before July 1st.
Okay, and I will work really hard to make sure they are accurate.
I totally thought of you today as I was doing all those pieces.
Okay,
I was
thank
like,
you, Colleen.
No, I get it. And I think that's the hard part, as you know,
Yeah.
some of the scopes of work are changing. You're like, you were 10% out of there, 5%. And, Crystal knows the pain that I bring with all of the grants. So thank you. And yes, totally on my radar.
Yeah. Awesome. Can you hit admit? Sorry. Okay. So that's great, I think. And then how long does it last?
It is only 1 year.
Okay.
And so some of it truly is supplement some of that COVID work that is ongoing, because as we know, we're not, there's still opportunities for the virus to, become more infectious, more deadly, surges, et cetera. So it's just an opportunity to cover some of the other work that needs to be done, and including trying out some new infrastructure things, because there is other opportunities that will come down the pike of, hey, what the conversation is, what are some of those positions that maybe you've created, because it's part of it of like, hey, where are those gaps been? And, obviously we always talk about patient navigation and things like that, where is that an opportunity to, supplement another agency, and then are they picking up the rest, or is it public health? So
Okay.
a lot of conversations, as you guys know, a lot of moving pieces.
Okay. Sarah, Jeff, do either of you have any questions on this workforce grant? It sounds like the next steps would be Colleen to reach out to the board and set up a time for a work session for us to develop a budget together, and work through some of those programming pieces together wherever that funding might fit. It's $141,000 for 1 year.
141 and $473.
And starts July 1st. So just want to make sure that both of you heard that, and that sounds like an appropriate plan of action should we approve this workforce contract.
Yeah, I don't think I have any big questions. Callie, you mentioned working with other agencies. Is that an opportunity to layer funding and put together us as well? And build on case like patient. What do you have?
Sorry, because I'm not always great at putting it all together. But yes, there is opportunity to do, in some of it is doing, where is it? Like with personnel, we're able to do some staffing for like school-based health centers, school nurses, or if we decide Something else we can look into for the contractors is making sub-awards, to local schools or school-based health centers. So there is opportunity. And we also have the ability to award funds to schools of public health or private or public organizations with demonstrated expertise in implementing public health programs in medically underserved communities. So that is where I was thinking of that sub-award possibly working with St. Vincent. I know they have one patient navigator. Would it make sense? Is it a successful model there to hire another person, utilizing some of these funds, and or is it under public health? So those are some of those things that obviously we need to have those conversations sooner rather than later, but there is opportunity, as you know, to always change the budget, to shift, to pivot, and to make sure that we do, use it appropriately and spend it out would be my goal.
Cool, wonderful.
Thank you.
Just wanted to mention also that Crystal Hewlett, our finance director, is here. And so she'll be instrumental in assisting us getting this budget off the ground. And she was the one asking questions of Colleen about making sure the allocations are appropriate. So thank you for being here and asking the good questions. Okay, is there anything further, Jeff or Sarah, that you'd like to ask before we entertain a motion on this public health workforce contract?
Nothing for me.
All right. Cool. Well, with that, then I will entertain a motion for this public health workforce contract with the CDC for $141,000.
I move to approve engagement with the CDC and the public health workforce contract.
I'll second.
Okay, any further discussion on the motion on the floor?
Me.
Okay. Seeing none, all those in favor? Aye.
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 All right, wonderful. Thank you, Colleen. If you will leave, is that a copy?
No, I actually sent it to you and Tim, but I
Okay.
can float it back up to the top if that works.
If you could, that would be,
Basically, it's a scope of work with our letterhead on it. It's not like the traditional as you see
okay,
it with
it's
the
not
whole.
like a DocuSign, okay.
No,
So if you'll float that to
Yep,
the top of
I
my
will.
inbox, I'll make sure
Yeah,
that it's
right now.
vetted, and then get it over to
That way.
the,
I think it went to both of you guys because Tim was supposed to do all those, but I will send it to all you guys and
Okay.
just to see if you're gonna get.
if you send it, Chris will just make sure to take a peek
Yep,
at it,
yep,
and then I'll get it
absolutely.
signed and recorded.
Yeah, I will do that right now.
Okay, thanks, Colleen.
Okay.
Okay, up next, we have a contract with CBS Accounting. Crystal Hewlett, our finance director, is here with us today to present this contract. Crystal, if you would like to talk through this with us, you are
Sure.
welcome to.
So this is our annual agreement for services that we've had since I've been on board and even prior to that. With Christine Stouter of CBS Accounting. Hold on, my watch says I'm asking questions. So Christine provides support to Lake County government in the finance department, as well as the treasurer's office and DHS with various reconciliations, journal entries, if I need help on one that I'm just struggling with, but just kind of overseeing those processes to make sure that we have everything in line for audit and financial purposes.
All right. I don't have any questions on this. This seems pretty straightforward. Jeff or Sarah, do either of you have questions for Crystal on this contract?
I don't, thank you.
And I don't know if you all got a copy. I shared it with Tim, so I assumed it went out. And it's the standard agreement with a not to exceed 50,000. I did reach out to Christine per Chris's instruction. about the insurance requirements, and that's not an issue, so I will get that document as well.
Cool, wonderful.
And that is it in a nutshell. Any other questions?
I don't think so. If there's no further questions, I'll entertain a motion at this point.
I'll move to approve the contract with CBS Accounting, Ms. Dowder, for the finance.
I'll second.
Okay, any further discussion on the motion on the floor?
None for me.
Nothing from me, thanks.
All right, seeing none, all those in favor? Aye.
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 All right, thank you very much, Crystal. We do really appreciate it.
Sure. And I reprinted on legal, so there would be room for recording if you
Sure.
want this.
Yeah,
copy.
I'll just take it right now.
Sure.
And then we'll get it taken care of for you so that you can get a copy back to.
Okay.
Christine. Okay, thank you. All right, the next thing on our agenda is the contract with Arkansas River Watershed Collaborative for project management of Lake County wildfire fuel mitigation work. So Commissioner Mudge has been leading this wildfire mitigation work and initiative. And now we're at the point where we are going to see the labor. And so with that, I'll just turn this over to you, Sarah, to talk us through this contract for project management and what the project is that will be managed by ARWIC. So if you'd like to talk us through that, you are more than welcome to.
I will, and I'm sorry, I hope my sound is okay, but just interrupt me if you can't hear. So ARWIC, Jonathan Packlin is here. He is the executive director of ARWIC. ARWIC stands for Arkansas River Watershed Collaborative. ARWIC is our Arkansas Basin Roundtable, a resource for all jurisdictions and everyone in the basin. They are a nonprofit and they assist different agencies and jurisdictions in funding, and they have done a lot of fuel mitigation work, particularly interesting project on Monarch Pass, done a lot of post-fire flood work in partnership with a lot of other folks. So ARWIC has helped us over a while seek funds and write grant applications, and they have helped Lake County secure two big funding opportunities. Well, a number of funding opportunities. I'm sorry, there are a number of local projects going on, currently ongoing with the ARWIC Forester at Grand West Village, and working on a demonstration project on County Road 4. But some of the more recent bigger projects that I have mentioned before in some of the meetings are our co-swap Swift cruise. We have been awarded 25 weeks of crew time to come in and do work in the immediately adjacent to the city of Leadville in the Wildland Urban Interface, or the WUI. And those properties are owned by CMC, the county, and Newmont around the community field and the county campus, or CMC campus. So that project then would extend a bit north, and that scope, as we get more resources, funding, and or crew time on the ground. There are other kind of smaller projects aimed at expanding this and enhancing this work that is scheduled for this year into some of the surrounding federal lands around the subdivisions along County Road 17 and County Road 4. And then in partnership with Colorado State Forest Service, we will be also seeking out some other funds, more co-swap funding for cash to get more crews on the ground, as well as other opportunities that Colorado State Forest Service has to inject their time and resources into other neighborhoods such as Homestake and Sylvan Lakes up in the northern part of the county. So the contract that I have for you today is with RWIC for the project management of the COSWAP and the NRD, the Natural Resource Damages funds that we have been awarded thanks to RWIC and their time in putting this application together, wrangling partners, joining us on presentations to these various groups and funders. Their scope will manage all of that work. The NRD fund work is approximately 5 years of time span to implement. The current project management budget is about $48,000. I have spoken with CMC and Newmont, and they agreed to share the cost of that with the county, which is very exciting. So that should not be the total cost to the county necessarily, at least not for the next year or two, but just excited that we have such willing partners, as most folks are understanding that this is a very pressing issue, as we had a fire last week, or was it Monday? I'm not sure. Already right over the border in Chaffee. But so yeah, I'll stop there. Jonathan, if you want to chime in and fill any gaps or introduce yourselves to the commissioners, and Tim, if you have not yet done that over some Zoom meeting, feel free.
Sure, I'm happy to introduce myself. Thank you, Commissioner Mudge. My name is Jonathan Packley, and I am the Executive Director of RWIC, as you'll hear us call it. And I've been here about 6 or 7 months now, so still learning about Lake County and the basin. But I think we've hit the ground running with several of these big grants that we've acquired just early this year. So we're really excited. It's going to be a big few years for Lake County as far as fuels mitigation, and we're also thinking of maybe hiring a mitigation specialist in addition to our lead forester, who will be leading the charge here on this mitigation work. So thanks for Commissioner Mudge's support on all of this, and we look forward to formalizing the relationship a little bit, and happy to work with your folks in getting that contract together.
I think we have to figure it out. Okay, sorry guys, we have the computer by the TV and me at the table, and so thank you, Crystal, for being so great at getting us muted and unmuted. I don't really feel like excuse me, I have any questions at this time. I'm just really excited to get this work underway, and to see how this pans out, so that hopefully it will create a ripple effect of fire mitigation in some of our subdivisions that really need it. So I'm just really excited about this coming to fruition this summer. Go ahead, Chris.
I was just going to offer too that we do have the agreement drafted, I believe, or it's in process to be confirmed. We also have a working draft with Colorado Mountain College of an MOU for collaborating, partnering with this process. So hope to get those finalized as soon as possible.
Yep, and we'll have to do something with Newmont mining as well.
Yeah, that's been drafted. I don't know if it's gone back to them for review or what. Okay.
Yeah, no, not yet. That it's in the works, but those will be coming following the formalization of our engagement with RWIC. And I also would like to take the opportunity to just remind folks again, on May 5th and 6th, we're going to be doing some neighborhood meetings and working with Colorado State Forest Service and RWIC together to go out and make sure we can educate folks, also the fire department, on prevention and evacuation, and gather more information, or final kind of collection of information for our amendment to our community wildfire protection plan revision that we've been working on the last several months.
Jeff, do you have anything, any questions or comments related to this project management with Arwick?
No, I'll just echo your comments. It's great to have something going, starting so fast on the ground, so soon after the community wildfire protection plan. So this is great.
Awesome. Great. Well, seeing no further questions or comments, thank you, Commissioner Mudge, for spearheading this work. It's amazing to see this come to fruition, and I'm really proud of the work that you put in to get us to this point. So thank you. And seeing nothing further, I will entertain a motion for project management.
I'll move to approve the project management engagement with Arkansas River Watershed Collaborative and Lake County.
Pending final further legal review.
Okay, sorry. Pending final legal review.
I'll second.
All right, any further discussion on the motion?
I just thank you for your comments, Commissioner Marcella, but I do have to say that this is not at all possible without the team at Arwick. Jonathan and Carrie and Andy, Carol, they have been incredible in really keeping us moving and hitting deadlines and connecting with folks. So thanks again, Jonathan. We really appreciate it and really look forward to growing the partnership. It's a great opportunity.
Us too. Thank you.
All right, thanks everybody. Seeing no further discussion or comments, all those in favor, aye?
Aye.
Aye.
All right, thank you very much. We appreciate it. I believe that our work session, that concludes our new business on our special meeting agenda for today. I believe, I'm going to go back here, that our next item is a work session, and that is scheduled to start at 1 p.m. with Alan to talk through CUP planning, or COP planning, certificate of participation planning. So we will adjourn our special meeting today at 12:33 p.m. and then we will reconvene at 1 p.m. for our work session this afternoon. So I will see everyone at 1 p.m. Thank you very much for coming today, and we'll see you soon.
Okay.
You guys can-